Hi everybody, it's Caitlyn from the bookstore. I'm here to share my staff picks of 2021. So I'm just going to dive right in. So the first one I picked is What Comes After. It's a novel by Joanne Tompkins, and the story of this is that Natalie took this book home and read it, and then came in. She read the whole thing in one night, came in and said, somebody else has to read this because I want to talk about it. So then I read it, and I'm so glad that I did because it's really been one of my favorite books. I really love stories that dig into kind of grappling with our humanity and all of those like big existential questions, and also paired with really great writing. So what I love about this is that it reads like a mystery in a lot of ways. It's the story of two friends who are also neighbors, and before the book begins, the two of them die in a murder-suicide, which I know sounds very grisly, but it all happens before the book begins. So the story is, it's polyvocal, so every chapter switches perspectives of the different characters in the book. So everyone is grappling with what happened, and there's still a lot of mystery of what actually did occur, and everyone is grieving. So one of the main characters is Daniel's father, and then also the other boy's mother, and then there's also a young girl who is pregnant, and one of the boys might be the father, but we're not sure at the beginning of the book exactly what happens. But really good questions about morality and yeah, the big questions of life, but also a really good page turner. I also read it in about a day and a half, maybe. So there's that one. Then we have 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. For those of you who saw an Iliad at APT at the beginning of this season, this is a feminist retelling of the story of an Iliad, told from the women's perspectives. So each chapter, again, like What Comes After, changes narrator, but you get a look at both the mythology of the war, but also in a really specific way. So you really dig into the lives of these women. And I stopped myself as I was reading many times to just be like, wow, this is so good. It's really beautifully written. Anyway. Circe by Madeline Miller is another kind of reinvented classic in this same vein. So if you liked Circe or you liked Song of Achilles, I think you would like this one as well. Next, I picked a collection of poetry. It's called Dead Dad Jokes by Shminky, a new trans poet. This came in as a galley, and Todd recommended it to me, or gave it to me to look at, and I actually ended up reading it over the course of my workday, and then I finished it that night. So it's a collection about Ollie's experience helping their dad through his end of life due to chronic illness. Very heavy topic, but also told in a very honest, raw, not shying away from kind of the difficulty of dealing with those relationships and the kind of reality of end of life processes. Also told with great humor and heart, and really, yeah, really just captivated me, and highly recommended. So that's that one. On kind of the other side of the coin, as far as kind of heaviness in some ways, I have The Comfort Book by Matt Haig. Matt is the author of The Midnight Library, which has been very popular this year at the store, He also wrote a memoir called Reasons to Stay Alive. The comfort book I came across when I was having kind of a rough stretch in my life, as many of us have experienced during the pandemic. So Matt has dealt with depression and kind of suicidal thoughts at different points in his life, which he speaks about very eloquently in his memoir. This book is more of a kind of a collection of gratitudes, really, or just helpful pieces of information that have helped bring the light to his life and kind of what he's gained from his life experience. So this would be a great gift for anybody who's dealing with dark times, either for yourself or someone else. It's broken up into really short little nuggets, so it's very digestible. I've been keeping it kind of like on my nightstand. Just one example. So this chapter is Songs That Comfort Me, a playlist. So it's literally a playlist of songs that brought him joy. And then I was inspired by that, so then I added my own. And then I told my partner about it, so then he added his own. So we have an ongoing kind of happy comfort playlist between the three of us. Yeah, the comfort book. The last one that I want to share is one that I asked for the holidays. This was on my holiday list. It is the New York Times Essential Cooking Book by Amanda Hesser was the editor. She's a food editor, food writer with the Times. I already have the New York Times Cooking app, which I use on a regular basis. So when this came in, I was very intrigued. And what I really am super excited about with it is that it is designed to be as accessible as possible. The tagline is exceedingly cookable, which I definitely agree with. The front cover has all your conversion tables and suggested temperatures for cook times and things like that. And then the back has some extra tips and tricks. And then it's broken up into chapters by type of food, so veggies, poultry. It has a lot, like each recipe is pretty short, so they're pretty easy to follow. Just really excited about this. Also, it's, recipes, tried and true recipes that have been collected by the Times, by a lot of very well-known chefs, Melissa Clark, several others I can't think of at the moment, but you get the drift. And then in the back, there's, of course, your index, but there's also some suggested, menus, which is great. So, if you're going to a picnic, here are, 10 recipes in this book that might be useful, or if you're making Thanksgiving dinner but don't know where to start, here's a suggested menu. Here are the pages that they're on. Yeah, interestingly, the day that this came in, I was looking through it in the store, and a customer saw it and kind of freaked out and was like, I had this book, the earlier version for, this many decades, and this is so good, and how exciting that they made a new one. And I actually have had that experience now twice. Two different customers on two different occasions looking at this book have told me the same thing. So that one is my pick for myself this year. So those are the ones that I chose. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you guys find your own good picks for the holidays. As always, we are here to help.